Okay, so I wanted to do in real time a bit of a top down analysis today for gold. And I'm also going to do NQ. Lately, I have been wanting, or I have been not wanting to, I have been trading more on NQ, and I'll talk about why in a moment. But here's my daily chart on gold. It looks like a bit of a mess up at this high level. So what I'll do is I'll just hide the drawings for a moment so we can see the forest for the trees. I'll also hide this little indicator so that it's a bit cleaner. We're clearly in a bearish downtrend at the moment. Look at that trend line right there on the daily. You know, it's just going straight down. That's because of the war at the moment. It's because of general volatility. People are focusing on what's going on in the Middle East. And clearly it's having an effect on this asset. We do have here on this line, look, we have got resistance point here. We've come down and we're now meeting with support. So we're just watching and waiting to see whether or not we're going to bounce off this support level and move higher, or if at some point we're going to push strongly down through and close through that support level. So that's what I'm watching for at the moment. Generally speaking, staying out of gold. It's very volatile and we're trading in this very close range, which has been making it very difficult to get any decent kind of run, any decent kind of price action where I can get the runs that I like to see happening with momentum. As you can see here, right down in the last week or so, we have traded basically in not even a 200 point range. We've got 4215 here, we've got 3956 here, so it's barely just over 200 points. I don't like range trading. I'd love to be able to be the kind of person that says here's the top, here's the bottom, and just bounce up and down between there, but I find it very difficult. Maybe one day, but I find it very difficult. So just going down then to the 4 hour. We're trading below the EMA. We've got nice price action here, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, but we're flattening out here, and the candles are bullish, but it's really not showing any kind of interesting action at all. Where I've got my cursor here, you can see that support level. It's really struggling to get down that behind that 3978 level, and I really believe that we'll just keep bouncing along that line for quite some time until we get some more reassurance that there's things are settling in the Middle East and people's perspective or people's interest is away from oil and move back into gold. Right, down on the 1 hour, once again, we can start to see the volatility within that range and why it's so tricky to trade, because this is 1 hour. This is 1 hour of price action. If I take my measuring tool and measure down there, there we go. We've got 83 ticks. That'd be a lovely trade, wouldn't it? But it's, it's one candle. How am I going to know that that one candle is coming along? We've got another one here. How many candles is that? How many ticks is that? 2 hours. We'll do the 2 candles. There we go. 739 ticks. No. 73.9 ticks. Whatever it is. It's a 1.83% move. I mean, it'd be lovely to catch that, but not with the kind of, it's not easy to catch that move with, when we're not sure exactly what's going on in the market in general. If I go down to the 15-minute now, we're starting to see just how tight that range is. Yes, there is volatility in those candles. Here we are last night at New York Open. We've got the volume spiking here and an upward push. but we're never really sure what it's going to do, and it can be very difficult to get a decent trade in here. Just moving down to the 1 minute now, and you'll see we've got a nice push this morning to the upside. That would have been a lovely entry to get into off over the EMA. But I have decided that I'm not trading gold at least until after Shanghai opens. So Shanghai is due to open at 11, so in about 35 minutes. And yeah, we'll see what happens after that with gold, but I'm staying out of it for now. I'm just finding, look at this double top. That's not a bad thing to see here. I like to see those. But look at this, when we go to the 15 minute, look how many tops there are, and then not much movement to the downside. So yeah, I'm just finding gold really difficult for me personally at the moment. Maybe when I become a bit more skilled, I'll be able to find a way to get in and get out, but I'm finding gold really difficult, and I keep getting stopped out. There is this FVG here where gold keeps tapping into. We're also here, we've got the 4,000 mark, which is a psychological level. You can see there those touch points of support at the 4,000 mark again. And so basically we're ping-ponging between here and there, maybe getting a little bit up higher, but it's very, very tricky to trade. For me, some people are doing great at it. I'm not great at that. So let's have a look now at MNQ, NASDAQ. I'm going to go up to the daily. Here we go. So since the beginning of April, we had this fantastic run, April, May, June. That was beautiful. I had not discovered NASDAQ back then. I was only trading gold. And of course, now that I'm trading the NASDAQ, look at this. But once again, this is the price action that happens because of world conditions. And we're seeing this on a lot of different assets, except maybe oil, of course, but even that is so volatile, and I'm not interested in going there. We've got this very strong support level. We had this little wick here on Friday last week where it pushed down past that support level. Here we've got this candle meeting up at 28,530.5. And then now it's support. We've got this candle here from the 9th of June, this candle here from the 11th of June, this candle here from the 17th of July, all pushing down to that support line. Once again, as I said with gold, I don't want to get involved if it's just pushing down against that level. I want to see it break and retest, or come down below, break and fall away, but we'll have to just wait and see. The trading range is slightly bigger with the NASDAQ. We've got earnings season on at the moment, so we're seeing a bit more volatility come in. There's a lot of interest around AI and the components that make up the NASDAQ at the moment. So there is some movement in there, and I'd like to see a trade on NASDAQ today. Go down to the 4 hour. I just want to comment, we've got this FVG here. That's being used as a bit of a resistance line. It'll be interesting to see if it can push up into that zone. We're still trading, we were trading until Friday above the EMA. We've now pushed down below the EMA, and it could be that we retest that EMA and then fall away. We'll see how price action plays out. On the 4 hour, if it gets its act together and shows me what it's doing. Here we go. So yeah, we've got some nice runs happening here. We've got these beautiful runs every time we get in to where the market opens. 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, London, here we go, and then New York. So there is some beautiful runs happening. I need to be patient and just make sure that I'm picking the right one. I tend to jump in and then get killed, so I need to make sure that I'm very careful about which entries I get into. We've got this support, this resistance line up here at 39.67, and then again here we've got another one at 30.086. We're trading well below that at the moment, and we're creating this other support, support floor here at 28,533, 28, going to say 28,554. We've pushed down through it, but only wicked. So what I really would love to see is price either coming down and then pushing away from that back up to the upside, or breaking through that, retesting and falling away. That would be my ideal trade. On the 1 hour, we had a great run yesterday down, Friday down. We're now barcoding last couple of days. I think probably because of, yes, the war situation, but we've got earnings coming out today and tomorrow. It could be that we're waiting to just get a bit of an idea about what's happening with the various components that make up the NASDAQ, and what their announcements will be regarding their earnings. I'm hoping it will push it higher. I like to see a bit of bullish action, but we're trading under the EMA at the moment, so we'll just have to wait and see what price does once those earnings reports come out. On the 15-minute, very consolidated, consolidation. We don't like to play in consolidation. It doesn't work for our strategy, and it just generally makes a mess of things. We are tracking along the top of that very nice zone that I have marked out there. I've just marked the consolidation here. So I'll watch for a bit of a breakout. It's hugging that line though, and it's really not doing anything exciting to get me out of there. I want to see it either break over that, retest it, and push away. I didn't mark the daily range, and as you can see here, I've got it locked. I'm going to move that there. That's the previous day low. This is the previous day high, which barely moved from the day before, from Friday. I'll lock those back again. And today we've started at the previous day low and are pushing away. It'd be great if we saw it push out of that zone, retest, and push up towards the previous day high. But I suspect we're just going to be trading within this very tight range, and we need to be careful about what it is that we get into, so that we're not just playing in a mess and get immediately stopped out, especially by a wicky candle. We don't want a candle to just wick us out. Down on the 1 minute, there's nothing interesting there at the moment. Yes, we've got this nice run that's pushed up away from the previous day low, which has acted as support. We've pushed up away, we've come back and retested, and we're pushing away now. Like I mentioned, I'd like the EMA to come and meet the top of that zone, price action to meet that EMA, and then push away either to the 50% mark of that consolidation, or more ideally up and away completely to the previous day high. So let's just see what's happening. I'm just watching at the moment, but I don't want to get in while it's in the middle of that zone. Like I said, I'm looking for the EMA to come up and meet us here at the top of that zone, price action to come down, and then push away with momentum. So let's see what happens after Shanghai opens. Hong Kong opens at about 12 Eastern Standard Time. So I won't be getting into anything until after Hong Kong opens and shows us what the market thinks about what's happening at the moment. Have a good trading day.